I'm your host, Tami Thomas. Good day. We're so glad that you're joining the Power Up today. Welcome to this brand new year. New opportunities ahead of us that we're going to make the most of. But first, let's go into the news. Sadly, we start our news today in this brand new year discussing a tragic event that happened in Japan. A Japanese aircraft collided with a Coast Guard recovery aircraft. Sadly, the Coast Guard aircraft, which was struck by the passenger plane at Tokyo's Haneda International Airport, was instructed only to taxi and hold in position. It didn't clear in time for the passenger plane to land. So, as we go into this new year, our hearts are extended to those who were able to escape the Japanese airline flight 516, the crew and its passengers. The miraculous happened. However, 397 people who escaped the Japanese airline were tragically, there were five out of the six crew on the Coast Guard plane which did not survive. So we extend our hearts to the Japanese officials who are doing all that they can, to the families and loved ones who are here in the States that are concerned about their loved ones or now have to bury them. And we think of our brothers and sisters across the water who are in the recovery effort and in the cleanup effort to help get that airport, highly trafficked, international, underway where safety is the priority. We also, as we discuss the news, want to remember that these are cold weather months. So we also want to think about this being hypothermia season, how important it is to make sure that you are well prepared, warm, so that we also don't have to experience the tragic deaths of our loved ones during these hot weather months, cold weather months. So we want to recommend that you set your alert to the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service can give you in your area an alert of any type of weather, storm, or storm front that might be anticipated to come your way. Yep, come right to your cell phone, your laptop, your computer, whatever it is that you see on a regular basis. So you know what is headed towards you. Is it going to be rainy all day, super hot all day? Or as we're facing across the United States, a front that includes snow and harsh wind and rain. The National Weather Service is a great asset, again, to make sure that they can give you viable projections that forecast so you see what's coming your way, as well as real time, minute by minute movement of weather fronts. See, we don't have control over nature, but there's things we can do to make sure that our families, those kids at the bus stops, our elderly who may have doctor's appointments are prepared for what's ahead. The National Weather Service, they give out warnings, watches, and advisories on a minute by minute, even daily basis. Consider the alert and the impact of potential weather that's headed to you that can come right to your media device. Isn't that a great thing about living in the social media age? You don't have to walk to the library or wait to read it in a newspaper. It comes right to you in the minute. National Weather Service is a great asset. As we think about those in Japan, those who experienced earthquakes in the Maryland area recently in the United States, those who are dealing with still wildfires and other storms or natural disasters, CNN.com is another viable resource. The cable network that has stood for years can at least share with you what you need to know that's happening in your area. In the news, our production team wants to make sure that you stay aware, educated, and equipped on how you can not just make a difference, but can remain safe. CNN.gov.com can give you valuable information, and getting alerts connecting to the National Weather Service can have you in a good place as you start your day, as you plan to go through the night. Connect to the National Weather Service to get those alerts. As easy as putting in your geographical information, your cell phone number. National Weather Service can give you all that you need. Consider tapping into them so that you are prepared. We will continue throughout this year to bring you key information, what's happening across the water, across the world, across the street, so that we're all prepared and growing together. Stay equipped by listening to our Inside the News segments so that we can make sure you know what's happening across this world. Family, we're excited to move forward today in the Power Up with our guest expert, the financial guru himself, Mr. Kenneth Burwell, who is going to bring us some insight for Money Matters. Stay tuned because there's more after this.
What's up, family? It's your girl, Terry White Hicks, and I am here to invite you to join me every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Midday Miracles and Manna right here on We Empower Network.
Welcome back to the Power Up. Okay, we're going to jump right into our Money Matters segment. So much going on, right? We just got through the holidays. We're moving into a new year, and we want to be as financially sound as possible so that we're not in a deficit this time next year. The production team elevated some interesting information I want to share with you. Do you know that 69% of households in America have less than $1,000 in emergency savings? Emergency, whatever that constitutes, those prescription drugs, an unwanted death in the family, the car issues, you never know. Less than $1,000 in emergency savings. 69% of households across America. Of that statistic, 34% have zero savings, no money at all. 34% of Americans. And 66% of millennials aren't even planning for retirement. They have zero retirement savings. Come on, let's bring in our amazing financial guru, Kenneth Burwell. We are grateful to have you here once again. Welcome to the Power Up. What do you think about those statistics?
I think they're a little low, just to be honest. In my everyday life, I look at folks, their bank accounts, just as a role, that's what I do. And those numbers are a little bit low. The average person that I see has less than $1,000 saved. And when you say emergencies, what constitutes an emergency? Especially these cold weathers, some your water pipes freeze, something happens to the vehicle. One of my clients, her car broke down. She thought it was something minor, realized she needs a brand new engine. She has nothing saved. So now she has difficulties getting back and forth to work. These little things can be alleviated just by being prepared. In your earlier statement, you asked about preparedness. If our folks get prepared, do small things in the beginning, these large things won't happen.
Thank you, Ken, because one of the things that you do across the country is educate individuals, regardless of how much money they make. I mean, again, we bring experts here to the Power Up. So Mr. Burwell works with those who are multi-million-dollar entities, businesses and companies that are Fortune 500, and executive leaders, government officials, whoever you would think is on a high spectrum. and yet makes time to educate community folks, those who, as I just said, have zero savings. So, Ken, I want to ask this question. Um, we're a global platform where people watch us across the world. Money matters to everybody, no matter where you live, no matter what your language and dialect. What are some tips that you would have to share with anyone who might be on the low end of the spectrum?
No matter what end you are on the spectrum, you need to save something. If you make $1, try to save 20% of it, because things happen that are not you're not ready for. They just happen. And if you have a small savings, then you, again, the stress level goes down, your concern levels goes down, and you can continue your normal life if you have if you set small goals on to save. I did a numbers thing the other day. Somebody said, well, a millionaire can save, he wanted to set smart goals. I'm sorry. He wanted to set smart goals. I asked him, I said, what's a smart goal? He said, I want to be a millionaire. I said, okay, what's your plan? He says, well, what do you mean? I said, how are you going to become a millionaire? He said, well, I'm going to save my money. I said, okay, that's understandable, but you make 40,000 a year. Is it realistic that next year, this time, you're going to be a millionaire? No, but you can be a thousandaire. You can be a hundredaire. You can be a little better than you are today. So that's what I try to get people to believe. Make your goals smart and measurable, all right, and realistic, all right. If you can have a month's worth of savings for your expenses put away somewhere, you can sleep better at night, knowing that if the air conditioning or the heating unit goes out, we can fix that. If the dishwasher breaks, these are small things that they are inconveniences, but if you had the money to get them repaired, life would continue as normal.
Love that. I love that. So your thought first, again, draining all the knowledge you have, because this is what you do for a living. Money is your thing. Numbers is your thing. Everybody's not a numbers person. So for those who are just starting, I love that you recommend start with a month expense. Start with something that's attainable. So, but I want to push the envelope a little bit into the how. What have you seen that are good practices that people can apply or cut back or make changes to so that they can live a good life, but be realistic about wanting to be better and have more?
First, you have to get a handle on where your expenses are going. Understanding where every dime that comes in goes out. Where does it go? And then look at those things. Is it absolutely necessary to buy X? Or can you buy two small Ys and get the same thing? Is it necessary to eat out every day for lunch? Or can you bring your lunch to work 2 days a week, saying your lunch costs $8 a day? That's $16 a week that you can save. Take that out for a month. That's $64 a month. For a year, now you're over $700 that you've saved by bringing lunch 2 days a week. And that's if your lunch costs $8. But I don't know where you're going to eat for $8, especially here at the airport. But hey, if you can do things, small changes like that, carpool, just minor things that you can save $10 a week. $10 a week, $520 a year. Does it sound like a lot? No. But if those tires go in your car, it's a lot. If the timing belt goes, it's a lot. So yes, those minor things. Can you take lunch? Can you put out of your paycheck, can you put $15 into a separate bank account? A separate bank account. That's the key. That way you see the savings. Because if it's in your general bank account, swipe your card, it's going to come out.
Okay, I love it. Practical tips. And anybody can certainly take these and be better. And I love you, Ken. I'm just going to say, you make money multiply. Talk to me for a minute about the broke person who wants to invest. or the person who, I tell folk, don't say that you're broke, because you got to really have the money, the mindset for potential or where you're going to be. But there are folks that really feel like they want to invest. They're getting closer to retirement or senior citizen age. What are your thoughts?
Well, Tammy, that's good. We had a client. She said, "I'm not broke. I'm pre-rich." So I like that. I like that term. You're not broke. You are pre-rich. Okay. So we're gonna get you. We're gonna get people to stop saying they're broke. They just haven't gotten rich yet. They're pre-rich. So, but the thing is, investing is very nice, but investing is good as long as you have savings to cover any expense. Putting money into an investment, a CD, a IRA, on the stock market is not great if you're living paycheck to paycheck, because now you're worried about losing that money, or if you have to pull it out, you have to pay penalty. Investments are great if you have savings. If another way to invest is, and a lot of companies still do it, your 401ks. 401ks are free money. Literally, most companies match a percentage of what you put in. It also reduces your taxable liabilities. So if your employer offers a 401k, look into it and look at matching at least what they putting in, or what they match. If they say they match dollar for dollar up to 6%, try to get to 6%. Don't try to put 20% in, because then you're going to be trying to strangle yourself trying to make it, from paycheck to paycheck. Start at 6, start small, and then increase slowly. All right. If you happen, and now's tax season. This is tax season, so people will be getting tax returns coming in. So when you get your tax return, what do you do with it? Do you run out, buy the latest Jordans, buy the PS5s? Do you go out and hang out? Think about putting some of that away. Not all of it. It's tax season. You earn the money, so you should use it, but not all of it. Use it smartly. You've gone a full year without it. Maybe you want to pay down some debt. Use those funds smartly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for hitting on my next question. Then tax returns are coming. Some people get that 5,000 and it's gone a week later. Again, the practical side of it all, anticipating that's where we're going. Okay, so I have to ask this question because we're just coming out of the holiday season. Mm-hmm. And you are really big on pushing the practicality of growth, of every little bit actually does produce. A seed in the ground does make something. But there are folks who maybe exceeded their credit card, maxed out that credit card, and now they don't know how to get back on top, or they've drawn their last penny out their account because they bought all the presents or had the big party. The holiday impact, getting caught up. Just getting caught up because it's the holidays. What thoughts do you have on how someone can repair their financial stance?
As before, very slowly. Credit card debt is probably the largest debt in America right now. Credit card debt is, and with the interest rates going up, it's just out of control. One of the things I've seen is what they call stacking. Let's say you have 4 credit cards that you have. I'm going to use round numbers. You have 5,000 on one, 2,000 on another, 1,000 on one, and 500 on the other, and everything is maxed. Everybody would say put a little bit on each. Not the smartest move. The smarter move would be put a little on the front 3, and then your lowest credit card, put as much as you can. So let's say your budget for credit card payment is $300. You have 4 credit cards. You may want to put 30, 30, 30, and then the rest, or that $310 $210 you want to put on the credit card that has the lowest amount. Reason being, once you clear that bottom credit card, you feel successful. Oh, I have a cleared credit card. Okay, now what you have next is, once that card is paid off, now you still have the same 300. You move it to the next one. Now you only have 3 credit cards to pay. So 2, you do the minimum, and then the bulk goes to the larger. Pretty soon you have 2 cards paid off completely. Now you go to the third, then you go to the fourth. Two reasons: people love to see rewards. They like to see success, victory. Okay, I've got these two cards completely paid off. Or as opposed to saying 4 months later, oh, I still got debt on all four of these cards. It's gratifying to see. To see your debt your cards become free. It's definitely gratifying to see
that. Great advice, especially when paying off a credit card increases your credit.
Definitely.
So your score gets impacted as well. That is, and I have heard the other way. So thank you for that logic. One of the things that you do is oversee bank operations. One of those people that's in the weeds of the accounts. Tell us, if you will, for folks who may just be starting with accounts or not sure what type of bank accounts they should look for, have $20 and just want to open an account. What do you recommend for folks on any level, just seeking to get with a good financial institution?
One of the things you need to do is stop into a bank and say hello. I mean, your bank, whoever you bank with, go in, see the banker, get a financial checkup. It's a new year. New products are out, new services are out. Let's take a look at what's going on with your bank account. Are you paying monthly maintenance fees? Are you getting ATM fees? Are you getting, these small fees? If you take, let's say you bank at financial institution A, but you do withdrawals at a financial institution B, C, and D. Are you getting charged $350 from each institution? So you take out 20, it's costing you $27 because you're getting $350 from your bank and the other bank. Are you having these fees? If you are, let's figure out some ways to avoid them. If you do an account review, which you should do an account review regularly, the newer accounts, do they come with online banking? Online banking is a great way to keep an eye on your, like you said in your initial when you came out, the up to the minute social media notifications. Your online banking is that. You don't have to wait for that paper statement to come in the mail to make sure that everything is right. Is anybody else swiping your ATM card while you don't know? These things you need to check regularly.
I love that. Financial checkups are just important as health care and
Absolutely.
mental health care, right? You make sure you get your annual checkup, you get your shots, so forth. You go to the doctor when you need to. Going into your financial institution and saying hello is what the brother said. Okay, so we have a few more minutes, but before I have you come with closing comments, I want to ask you another question. Help our college students, help our young folks who aren't sure, right? They're just at a place where maybe they're young, or our high school folks who are just getting their first jobs. Like, what should the younger folks know? And then I'm going to flip it and ask, what should the seniors know who are on their one time a month? Maybe that's all they're getting as far as income.
All right, for our younger folks, most institutions have free bank accounts for what they call a student checking account. Student checking accounts for folks up to about 23 years old, 26 years old, depending on the financial institution. No monthly maintenance fees, and it's a good starting account. You don't have to have minimum balances. You don't have to have a direct deposit or anything like that. Those are great accounts to get you started. But also remember, these young folks, they should have, and hopefully they still do have, good credit. So most of these institutions are going to be trying to push credit cards on them. Again, be careful with your credit cards, especially these young folks, because listen, I remember when I was young, I got my first credit card. I was quick to run out and buy something. It was real easy, real fun, until the bill came. And when that bill came, I'm like, ooh, I got to pay this back and interest. So be careful with the credit cards. I don't say don't get credit cards, because we are in a time where credit is important. Your credit score drives a lot of the things you do. You may lose a job based on your credit score. You may pay more on insurance because of your credit card, car insurance, homeowners insurance. Your credit score is a large factor, so be careful, be guarded, and be mindful of your credit. Check your credit score. Pull your credit bureaus to see, one, what accounts you have active. Oh, and this is again for our college students and our seniors. Our seniors, pull your credit. If you have an account with Navy Federal Credit Union and you see an account with Navy Federal Credit Union and you've never had it, try to get a handle on what it is. Somebody could have opened an account in your name. I've seen a lot of that lately. Credit fraud is huge, especially to our seniors, because our seniors don't go and check their credit. And kids, the young folks, people use their credit too. So we need to check your credit. Check your credit lines, see what trade lines are out there, and be guarded. If you have to block your credit, call the bureaus and block your credit. All right, there's no fee to that, and it's a way to protect yourself. Now, as far as our seniors, if you are on an individual account, again, I've seen this as well too. If you have an account, you might want to think about putting someone else on the account in the event that something happens to you, because you do not want your bank accounts locked up in probate. You don't want your family. You want to be your family to be able to have access to it. You don't have to put them on as a secondary or a joint owner. You can put them on in what they call a payment upon death, a POD, payment upon death. So that way, if something happens to you, people can have access to the funds so that they can put you away and be able to take care of your financials after you've gone. So our seniors need to make sure that they do that. I've had folks who've passed away. They were individuals on account. People had to go and get not pounds. People had to go get estate accounts. They had to go through the court. This can take 2, 3, 4 weeks. Funeral homes aren't holding folks. They just basically won't do anything until they're paid. So my seniors, I just want to make sure that your accounts are set up, that you do have a payment upon death, or you have a POA in place that, while you're alive, if something happens, you have somebody who can take care of your financials, because if you become incapacitated for any particular reason, you want someone to make your financial decisions just as well. You want them to do your medical decisions too.
That's why we bring Ken Burwell, family, for all of that. And that's not even the trainings that I've seen him conduct. He's trained at universities and multiple folks. Thank you, Ken, for gracing us today. Thank you for agreeing to be our Money Matters correspondent. So we'll be hearing more from you on a regular basis. Again, one of the things you said so important, so that we can stay financially healthy the same way we should physically and mentally. Before you leave us, though, you happen to also be an undercover motivator, someone who loves on other people, someone who cares about the community, not just the money, but I've seen you mentor young men and care about family unity and how we all have to connect in community as well. This being the kickoff to a brand new year, any thoughts you'd like to share of inspiration to help someone know financial health is possible, but even more so, being happy in life is possible?
Absolutely. We're in a new year. We're on the 5th day of January. So we have 361 more days in this 2024 year to make a difference. I don't want folks to get to December 15th, December 20th, and wonder what impact they had on the community. And again, it doesn't have to be on the world. It could be on your block. It could be in your home. It can be in your family tribe. How have you impacted? Who have you imparted some sort of wisdom to in your circle, in your sphere of influence? And did you impact them? Did that impact, was it lasting? Was it something that uplifted them so that they can uplift the next person? Because in today's society, we can't do it ourselves. And our children's children, they look at what we do day in and day out. So be mindful of what you're doing, when you're doing it, and who's around you while you're doing it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Burwell. Bank executive with Truist. You can reach him at kenneth.burwell@truist.com. He does welcome any inquiries, any questions. I can't tell you if he charges you or not. The brother believes in multiple streams of income. We can't help you with that at the Power Up, but what we will do is gracefully accept any insight and wisdom that you want to continue to drop to us. Ken, thank you so much from the Power Up team, from me personally. We look forward to hearing more from you. Family, listen, the show isn't over. This is just a great way to start the new year. Stay tuned. There's more after this.
Hey family, it's Tami, your empowerment coach with this elevation moment, reminding you of how resilient and powerful you are during moments of change. Do you know whether personally at home, health-wise, financially with your bank account, or even career in your journey, maybe the pink slip or reassigned to a different department, whatever the change is, do you know that you're the one that's powerful in it to be that change agent? That example of how to get back up when you get knocked down. See, with resilience, a tree might bend in the wind, but when it stands after the storm, it becomes what it was created to be. That nest for the bird, or maybe even that shade on a hot day. How about that fruit that it's bearing? Whatever it was designed to be is what will be manifested. So I just wanted to encourage you, stay empowered and know that your perspective doesn't have to be negative in a moment of change. You have the power to make a difference. Know that folks are watching you. In fact, it could become your testimony, how you got back up, how you helped someone else up at the same time, how you restored so much that your test became a testimony. How about your mess becoming a message? Family, stay encouraged, stay resilient, powerful, focused on the positive. Remove negativity, even if it means encouraging yourself with daily affirmations while you're in it. But just know, you can be great.
Welcome back to the Power Up family. Wow, so much information we've just shared in the first 30 minutes of the show, but we're not done yet. We are going to take this opportunity before we move forward to take a year in review. So much happened in the prior year that was of national information, even international impact. And we want to take this opportunity to highlight many of the stories, some that may have been on public information or public news stations, others that may have been unknown. Did you know that flamingos came in from Mexico because of a hurricane? Picked them up from Mexico, flew hundreds, and they landed across the United States and Florida and even in Ohio. They found multiple flamingos, tropical birds, that all of a sudden were on the streets or on beaches in the area, wherever they landed. Isn't it interesting how nature has a mind of its own? While we're with nature, let me also share that there were some amazing highlights that impacted penguins in Chile. You can Google all of this and see these amazing videos. Also, a story of where dolphins led a lost whale to where its calf was located. Family, Disney movies can make this up, but it actually happened around us. Even the story of a legally blind boy who smiled because he could hear and see his parents for the first time in his life. We often hear of miracles that happen, and we should celebrate them as we think about what's behind us. We celebrate all that has happened that elevates the humanity. How people have come together with the United Nations at the forefront to help those who experience tsunamis in Japan, wildfires in Canada, even that horrible fire in Maui, Hawaii. We remember the stories of those who went into forests to find children who were lost for days, who even found their way to hunker down through a pandemic and then get back to helping their society function as things started to reopen. See, it's more than just the trauma and the horror stories of last year. Russia's invading Ukraine, the Myanmar war. We have new wars that started to take place between Islam and Hamas in Palestine. We think about the horrible gun violence that escalated throughout the year. The high number with 528 occurring just to October, and then more following. How we think about the devastation in the weather going all the way down to 25 degrees, and the flooding in California, the flooding and wildfires that came from Canada and hit parts of California that wiped out communities. Family, when we take a year in review, think not just about what we see on the news, the celebrities who were married, the celebrities who were divorced. Don't just get caught up in what we see, but think about celebrating your wins. This is a great opportunity to go into those vision board parties, to pull out your journal and start dream mapping. Decide, this is some things I wish I could do, and then put that plan together that Ken talked about. I tell folks often, if you want to go to the moon, write it down as a dream. You know why it's possible? Somebody else has done it. Why can't you? But it starts with a plan. You can make any goal achievable. So think about your wins from 2023. Pause and allow yourself an opportunity to say, you know, I did some things last year. I am wonderful. I am amazing. And here, even if you're in a place where you don't feel it, think about the fact that you made it over into a new year. New opportunities in front of you. A new day, new energy, new people, new in front, all new. But it first must start with me taking the year to review what was great, to have real conversation and assessment on where I failed or fell, and figure out how I can learn from those so that I'm better moving forward. See, reviewing is just that. It doesn't say move it into the past, because one thing you can't do is change it. Whatever happened yesterday is a memory. What you have right now is this moment. But if you take this opportunity to review, just like your rearview mirror, it lets you see where you came from. It lets you see, okay, I remember now that there's stuff behind. Okay, I have to look at the fact that this, and it's perspective. But think about this, that rearview mirror is so small compared to your windshield, y'all. And the greatness in front of you, letting you know what's on your left, your right, what's it, where you're going. The possibilities ahead. I can take this ramp. I can keep going on this highway. Uh-oh, there's traffic. I see where I'm going. But because of where I've been, I know how to handle traffic. I know how to handle the game of waiting. See, nobody wants to wait, but you got to do it. As fast as you drive, you're going to come to a red light at some point. And then it's what you do while you wait. You're frustrated, you're mad. What is it? Because when you want to go, somebody else has to wait. So it becomes the how you grow from your past experiences. So the Power Up wanted to take this opportunity to remind you that as you're getting ready to tap into all that's going to make this next year phenomenal, the best year ever. Come on now, that's on the top of my vision board in bold letters. It's going to be the best year ever. But that means that as I get ready to move forward, I have to take opportunity to say, I did these things well, but I can do these things better. I want to take Ken's advice, the advice of considering what I can do that's small that can make a great impact. Remember, that pebble in the water might be a tidal wave on another place. What you do right now, and thank you, Ken, for the practical tips. Taking my lunch a few days a week. Starbucks does not need to get my money every day, $5 a cup. Ooh! Come on now. I don't have to go buy lunch every day, giving them $10 a pop. I can bring my good old-fashioned leftovers, microwave them, and enjoy what I cooked, and just saved that money. Oh, come on, somebody. Making sure that if I'm going to commit to putting money away to save, thank you again, Ken, that I open a separate bank account so that money goes straight there and I don't touch it. It's not part of my bills. It's not part of my process. Like my husband, I don't even see it. It's an account I don't even touch. Just a little bit of money goes straight out my check. So it's meant to just collect for that emergency. So as you're assessing your financial health, are you really where you want to be? See, another point of Ken's. It's great that you want to invest. Who wouldn't want to be part of the stock market, part of the opportunity to elevate my portfolio, right? You want to get your credit well and be able to walk into places and have them say, sure, you can test drive this vehicle without question. Right? You want to get to those places and where you dream of going. If financial health and being debt-free is your dream, get a goal, get a plan, and a daily habit. The habit starts with knowing what you didn't do and planning what you can do differently. So when you take time for your year in review, go on, celebrate your wins. I actually was able to save this amount. I'm proud of myself. So now I'm going to keep on stacking. I actually was able to open my business. I actually wrote a chapter as part of an anthology. So now I'm an author. I actually did little things that I've always dreamed of doing. Might not be anything to others. Remember, drowning out the noise, the hate, the opinions, might not be anything to others. But to me, I made myself move forward. And where I didn't, it's okay because I'm in a new season. I know what I didn't do well. I know where I messed up. Can't change it, but what I can is make sure I don't do that again. I don't speak that way again. I make sure that I gain information and grow so that I'm better as I move forward. Family, we're not living in regrets. We're taking everything from this past year, the good, the bad, the ugly, the flaws, and all. And we're going to go forward with excellence that we were created to be. Thank you, Power Up Team, for making us pause to highlight the amazing things of nature, the horrible things that have happened in the land, but also reminding us that we have the power to be amazing moving forward as we take our year in review. Family, we're going into our wrap up. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, guys. It's Tina Wynn, your host of the podcast, You See Me. I want you guys to stay encouraged, continue to come out and see me, and most importantly, see yourselves. Remember, the only way that you can truly enjoy life is to see other people so that you can enjoy the beauty of seeing yourself. Come join me Saturdays at 4 on the We Empowered Network. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Power Up. Your host, Tami. First, extending gratitude to the production team of the Power Up and the executives of the We Empower Network. This platform, this voice makes an impact, and we believe that you should have a voice. We want to respond in our wrap up today to a viewer who submitted a question. But before we go into her question, we want to also thank Ken Burwell for joining us from Truist and from his great work that he does as an instructor and an advocate and an advisor in the community. He's based in the Atlanta area in Georgia, but I've seen his global impact and I'm grateful that he is part of the Power Up team. Thank you, Ken, for bringing us practical knowledge so we can start off this year, like you said, so that when we get here next year, we're not living in regrets, but better than we are right now. We're going to have Ken back on a regular basis, and he's going to join us with some Money Matters segments. Stay tuned to the We Empower Network for more with that. We also want to continue to extend our heart to those in Japan who were part of the tragic fire where the two planes collided. We're grateful that almost 400 people on the passenger jet were able to escape that fiery inferno. Our hearts are extended to the crew of the Coast Guard who were impacted by the collision. Also, to those who experience trauma, who are dealing with hurt on many levels, may not even be discussing it, talking about it, sharing where you are. We feel you and we care at the Power Up. We want you to know that our hearts are extended to you as well. And we will always remind you of your greatness and your worth. So you've taken financial information. We've started with some inside the news segments, and we just ended how we can take an assessment of a year in review. So now as we respond to the viewer's question, the viewer says, thank you, Power Up, for continuing to share hope. But I'm in a place where I feel hopeless. How do I find hope when all around me is so hard? I first want to thank you for your question because, hardness of how you feel in a moment when it's hard, whatever that's defined as, is real. And you've got to be real with you if no one else, right? There's no easy fix. Millionaires might be living large, doesn't mean they don't hurt like everybody else. There are folks that you see that you think got it going on because they can write big checks or they drive those nice luxury rides, but you don't know their story and their struggle. So I first just want to let the viewer know and all watching that you're not alone. I'm so glad that you reached out to us. I want to share this thought. There was an amazing segment that was done on the We Empower Network called Hope for the Holidays that was hosted by the amazing Dr. Terry Y. Hicks, who is just an inspiration in herself. When you get a chance, go back and look at those. Hope for the holidays. It certainly was talking about the holidays because hurt just seems to be elevated when other people around you are joyful and you just feel that you're not in that place of joy. Take time and go look at some of those segments. I'm even on one of them and hope that you can get some inspiration. But I also want to remind you that you have the power to change your situation. You have the power. So it's not a matter of just sitting there and deciding, woe is me. Ho hum, I can't. No, let's change that speech. Let's change your mental state. Let's change where you can be so that there's movement in this space. See, even if you're in a desert, if you're in the valley, it's not about popping up a tent and taking up residence there. No, keep going. There is an after this to whatever storms pass in life. So thank you for using that word hope. I want to share just a few practical tips though. Here's possibly an easy one. I remembered hearing a story about a baby who's fighting cancer at St. Jude's Hospital. This network gives to St. Jude regularly. And I want to thank this individual for sharing their family story. This particular baby has been fighting cancer since birth. They're like 5 now. So regularly they have to go to this hospital. And the dad said it's gotten to a point where when we say, come on, babe, we're going to the hospital to see the doctor, the baby gets excited because they know they're going to be playing there. They're going to be around people they know. It's like family. Now, cancer sucks. There is nothing positive, and you won't ever hear me praise cancer. It is horrible. What I want you to take strength from is how in a horrible situation, this baby finds a way to change its perspective and have fun in the moment. Tammy, what are you trying to say? Family, I don't care your age. Find a way to incorporate laughter and fun in your day. Find a way to, even if you have to put a reminder on your phone, or if you have to get connected to one of those motivational, inspirational things where they come to your phone automatically. If you just have to connect with a mentor, a counselor, a therapist, someone that can help you move forward as you're trying to connect and find joy in the space. Also, remember that combating negative thoughts has to be number one. See, we give noise a volume. We allow the negativity and the opinions of haters to be so much louder than the voice of ourselves telling ourselves you are wonderful. See, because hate is just that. And I want to share this perspective. If you're dealing with somebody that just isn't team you, welcome aboard. I got so many folk that aren't part of Team Tammy, and I mean family, and folks that's supposed to be friends and in your circle. And it's going to happen. But the thing about haters is they don't just hate on you, they spread it everywhere. So you got to stop taking personally other folks' opinions. Ooh, I just said something right there. I need individuals to know that as you move forward, your greatness, everybody is not going to like. Because people don't celebrate folks when they're not in a celebratory mood. In other words, folks that are happy don't want to see you happy. So if you're in a place where you don't feel hope, it feels hopeless. Excuse me. Start surrounding yourself with entities and ways that you get hope poured into you so that in those moments it comes alive. Fun. Man, you know, I love to dance. Maybe I should take a Zumba class. Movement is freeing. Excuse me, y'all. Allergies, pardon me, seasonal, I don't know what it is. But I want to make sure that we wrap up telling this viewer, you are amazing. And it's not over just because it feels hard. Stay encouraged.